Hey dorks, I'm back. I'm working on a name for y'all, and I'm medicated this time. I'm working on some new sprites, so until they are done, we may not have any for most of my videos. Right on topic today, I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube and some TikToks talking about Booktok. One of my favorite YouTubers, Funky Frogbait, go follow them please, offered their opinion on the topic, and I'm jumping on the train. Booktok, like many others, is a subgenre of numerous things you can find on TikTok. Some people go on Booktok to find their next read, to talk about their favorite books, and so much more. I personally discovered 2 new books off of Booktok. The first I'm reading is Tender as the Flesh, and the second is a dark rom-com by author Navisa Allen, Lights Out. I personally enjoy these. I'm constantly giggling and kicking my feet over Josh and constantly having to put down Tender as the Flesh. But here's the thing. I'm 17. I can decide what I can read. But not everyone should read it. But it is a good idea to try it out, see if you enjoy it. I personally do. Now, I got this idea from the YouTuber Spencer James and his video on the unhingedness of the guys on Booktok. So I want to point out something. It's okay for people to enjoy dark romance. What I enjoy saying is that books seem to feel better than reality. I am autistic, however, so reality is already hard for me. But some women and men can find themselves in the protagonists of these kinds of stories. Think you have to read The Outsiders in middle school, right? Well, we all clung to at least one character. There was a book I never finished back in middle school called The Skin I'm In. I sadly do not remember who the author was. I do remember the story followed a young African American girl struggling with self-identity and possible racism from her peers. I'm as white as a cracker, not black. However, I did cling to the protagonist because she was bullied. I grew up being bullied because I'm different and never understood why I was. So I clung to her because I saw a piece of myself in her. The point is, reading is an escape. Why should you have to be policed for what you read? I've talked to people about Lights Out. It's mostly women I've spoken to who have said they enjoyed it, and one guy, who's my friend, and gay. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube saying that dark romance is romanticizing various crimes. The key missing thing they forget in some of these aspects is consent. There is normally given or dubious consent or either party in these stories, but my issue is the fact that many of these very same people praise Colleen Hoover, who constantly romanticizes physically assaulting a partner, and SA. Dark romance is honestly fine. Some are extremely disturbing, yes, sure, but some are into it, some aren't. I tried talking to two guy friends about it, and one of them said, yeah, no, I'm not into that kind of book, sorry, and that's fine. He can enjoy what he does. The other friend I told about it, I know, is more into fantasy. He's more into the whimsical kind of thing, which has a wonderful plot that you can spend hours reading, and once again, I have no reason to judge, because he can like what he does. In Spencer's first video on Booktok, he said while talking about reading Haunting Adeline, which I have not read, it was emotionally draining to read. He then said, it's basically essay disguised as romance, and in some books, that is what it is. Lights Out has a full page of content warnings so readers can consider whether or not they feel comfortable reading it. For me personally, I've heard a lot of good and bad things about Lights Out, and I decided I wanted to read it for myself. And it's something that you should do as well. I've mentioned before that things can be a fantasy, but there is always a line you should never cross. It's okay to have a fantasy, and a lot of women who read books like dark romance want to escape reality. When I began to read Lights Out, I didn't expect how much fluff and other topics there were compared to what everyone was saying. I will admit, Josh had no right to hide cameras in Allie's house, and she had every right to be mad at him for doing it, but regardless, everyone can have what they love to read. I understand the discourse around dark romance, but can we genuinely stop judging people for reading it? It feels like everyone is looking for a reason to judge one another about the absolute dumbest things. Anyways, this video has been a few weeks to a month in the making because of school and exams, but we're finally getting it out, and I'm gonna have a new one out here soon. Then will be a multiple parter since the script is still being written. Happy Valentine's Day if you see this on the 14th, which is when I'm recording it. But have a good day. Hug your mother. Acknowledge your father. And have a good day.